With Thanksgiving next week, millions of people will be cooking for their loved ones, which means there's a higher risk of home cooking fires. In fact, the Red Cross says every year Thanksgiving is one of the peak days they happen. That's why it's important to prepare now so that you can safely enjoy the holiday later. So for more on that, Heidi Rester with the Red Cross is here with me this morning. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Good morning.
So what is it about this specific holiday and home cooking fires? Why is it more than others?
Well, for the most part, people are cooking at home more often than they normally would. And they're cooking more items and items maybe they're not as acquainted with. So it's just super important that people pay attention and stay in the kitchen area when they're cooking, especially when there's anything on the stove.
Okay, so that's the biggest thing, is really pay attention to what you're cooking that day.
Absolutely.
Is there anything people can do now to prepare for the holiday to make sure nothing like this happens?
So, I mean, a couple of things. For instance, if somebody is frying a turkey, right, make sure that they are defrosting the turkey. So think about when you are defrosting.
Okay.
If you are using a fryer, use it outside, away from home or overhangs or anything like that. And just really consider what you're cooking and who's going to be where. Children need to be at least 3 feet away from a cooking area, so be really careful in regards to that. And then think about what you're wearing that day. You don't want anything flowing or going into items.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's when people a lot of times will get in trouble. And then the other piece, think about what you have on the stove. If there is a stove fire, have a lid or a cookie sheet nearby. So if it's a small one, you can cover it up. But if it goes any further than that, get out of the house.
That's good to know. And as far as things you should have in your kitchen if a fire were to break out there, things like smoke alarms, fire extinguishers, you suggest people have those?
Absolutely, absolutely. Smoke alarms, absolutely check them, make sure they're working, and then a fire extinguisher, especially in the kitchen, everybody knows where it is, it's easily accessible, it's super important.
Okay, and in terms of like what people are cooking that day, a lot of these dishes take a long time, and so what do you suggest if someone needs to, go run an errand or, go do something else to prepare for the holiday while something's cooking? What do they need to do?
So turn it off.
Okay.
Yeah, don't take the risk and leave the oven on while nobody's home. So the other piece is if you're cooking on the stove, something's going on, just put a timer on to remind you to turn things off, even if it doesn't need a timer.
For sure. And in terms of things you should probably keep away from the stove, because things catching on fire is a big reason for these as well. So what things do people need to make sure they're steer clear of in that area?
Bags, dish towels, anything that could be flammable. Again, that 3-foot distance is absolutely necessary because you never know when something will flame up.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And in terms of like cleaning up the mess, I read something about grease starting some of these fires. Can you talk a little about that?
Sure. So when there is grease dropped in any way, fashion, or form, it's really important to clean it up as soon as possible. Because again, if you get fire near that, of course, major issues. So make sure you clean up those grease drops quickly.
Perfect. Is there anything else you think is important for people to know just about fires happening specifically on this holiday and things they can do to really watch out for that?
Sure. So I think, again, it's just a matter of everybody knowing in the household if a fire does happen, what do we do? What is our plan? So make sure there's that conversation happening. And then the other piece to think about safety this year is COVID, frankly, and just being safe about, the family members and who's there. If you're having a great big group, maybe do it outside. So just think about that to be safe for everybody in the long run.
Absolutely. Lots of things to consider this holiday.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for being here. My last question for you is, where can people go for more information if they need a refresher on all of this?
Sure. redcross.org. Holiday safety is there.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for your time, Heidi.
I appreciate it.
And we will have a link to that on our website at abc4.com/GMU.